What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fun with Friends podcast. I'm your host, Allie. Everyone has a list of things they've always wanted to do. For some, it's a bucket list, and for others, it's the things that they want to try, but they keep making excuses not to. Maybe it's because you don't have the time or the money, or because you just don't want to go alone. Or maybe you're like me and are just really good at making excuses and finding reasons not to put yourself out there. The Fun with Friends podcast is all about getting out there, exploring, trying new things, and chasing happiness. Join me, Allie, and my friends as we work through our list of things we've always wanted to try, and as we go on adventures and discuss the meaning of happiness and friendship. Who knows? Maybe we'll fall in love with an activity. Maybe we'll find something that brings us happiness, or maybe we find out that an aerial silks class just isn't for us. Come join the fun and hang out with my friends and me as we go on adventures and explore our city. What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Fun with Friends Fun Fact Minisode. On this week's Minisode, I'm going to actually use this to make a couple of announcements, and it's going to be kind of short and sweet, but the main announcement is that the podcast will be moving to an episode every other week. So instead of doing a full-length episode and then a mini-sode and a full-length episode, I'll just be doing full-length episodes bi-weekly. So again, every other week. Because, I got shit going on. And it takes a lot of time and effort to do a podcast, and right now I don't have as much time as I would like to be able to do an episode every week. So after this episode, I'll move into that scheduling where I post something every other week instead of every week. Some of the reasons why I don't have as much time as I would like is because I'm also in the process of getting my photography business up and running, and that also takes a lot of time and effort. So I'm really trying to dedicate a lot of my extra time towards that, because I do also have, like a normal 9-to-5 job that I work. So everything I do with the podcast and also with my own business is done when I can after working a full day. So it's a lot to kind of manage, and so I need to kind of turn some of that effort towards photography business so I can really get that kind of up and running and focus more on that going into 2020. I'm also I'm working on a book, which is weird to say, but I'm doing it, and so that's another thing that takes up a lot of my time. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to kind of manage everything and still do it, because I do really enjoy making the podcast, and it's a great way to get together with friends and do a lot of fantastic fun things that I normally never would do. And so I do want to continue to do it. I just need to find a better rhythm that works with the recording and editing schedule and how that fits into everything else that I'm working on right now. So that's really kind of the big announcement for this week, is that I'll be moving into that bi-weekly schedule. So there won't be an episode next week. So this is all you get for now. If you really just need a little Fun with Friends podcast, you can always go back and listen to some of the other episodes. So that's the main thing. And then to give you kind of like a preview, I guess, of some of the episodes that are coming up, I'll be doing an episode on the Death Becomes Us festival that I attended in early November. And that's a really awesome true crime festival that they put on every year. I think this was the third year that they've done it. So I went to that. This is my second year going, and I absolutely love it. There were some amazing speakers this year, like Amanda Knox, Lorena Bobbitt, Paul Holes, and Billy Jensen. It was amazing. So I'll be doing an episode on that. It'll probably be a solo episode because I went by myself. So prepare yourselves for that. But it'll be that'll be coming up in 2 weeks' time, I guess. And then I'll also be doing an episode on National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, which that's definitely probably going to appeal to a more specific group of people, but it is the reason why I am working on a book, because I did that through the entire month of November, which is National Novel Writing Month, and came out at the end with a first draft of a novel. So I'm gonna kind of talk about the organization, NaNoWriMo, what they do, and then kind of what that whole process was like for me, sitting down and kind of focusing my time, and just talking about how that went and what the outcome was. So that'll be probably a solo podcast as well. And then heading into January, because, at the beginning of a new year, we like to make resolutions, right? So heading into January, I'm going to try out a shit ton of exercise classes, fitness classes. So I'm going to do kickboxing for fitness first, and then probably pole dancing for fitness, and maybe like a bar class, which is like ballet for fitness. So those are kind of the top 3 exercise classes that I'm looking to do going into January with some buddies that I've roped into it. So that's kind of just an idea of what's coming. And then of course, since everyone wants to do skydiving, we're gonna look at doing skydiving next year and probably try indoor skydiving before actually doing the real thing. So 2020 should be pretty fucking exciting. I'm looking forward to it. We just got to get through December and January, which we'll kind of probably be a little slow in the podcast area, but then hopefully I'll be able to kind of pick back up and maybe start doing weeklies again in February. If you're like me and you're just getting started with podcasting, it can be scary and overwhelming. That's why Anchor is such a great choice. It's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast, and best of all, it's free. It also has great creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Another great feature of Anchor is that they'll distribute your podcast for you. Your listeners will be able to access your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many others. You can also make money from your podcast using Anchor, and that's with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place, and it's easy to use. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. So that's kind of just a quick update on where we are and where I'm looking to go in the next couple of months. So again, moving from doing a weekly podcast to every other week or bi-weekly, at least for December and January. And then, I hope y'all stick around. 2020 definitely has a lot of awesome stuff in store that I can't wait to share with everyone. So again, hang in there. We've got to make it through the holidays, and then 2020 will be a good year. So that's it for this episode. Thank you to all of the listeners. I really appreciate all of you, and as always, get out there, try something new, and have some fucking fun. Bye.